Have you ever saved money so carefully that you stopped living? Not wasting, not shopping, not enjoying, just existing. Quietly, carefully, afraid that one wrong move could undo everything. This story begins with an idea that sounds wrong at first. Never save money. That sentence does not mean spending recklessly or ignoring responsibility. It means something deeper. It means money should help you live, not make you afraid to touch your life. Ethan did not grow up irresponsible. He grew up cautious. He worked nights as a security guard in a small town where the power went out often. Too often. When the lights disappeared, so did the food in the fridge. So did the phone battery. So did the sense of safety. So Ethan decided to save. Not casually, not loosely. He saved with discipline, with fear. Every extra dollar went into an envelope. He labeled it generator. That envelope became his plan, his shield, his promise to himself that one day things would be better. To protect that envelope, Ethan began cutting everything else. He skipped meals because groceries cost money. He stopped buying coffee because coffee added up. He stopped fixing small things in the house because they were not urgent. He told himself it was temporary, just until the envelope was full. But life did not pause for his plan. The power went out again. This time, longer. Food spoiled. The phone died. His child tried to do homework in the dark. Ethan lit a candle and felt guilty because even candles cost money. Then the doctor visit came. The payment had to be made up front. The envelope got thinner. Then the landlord raised the rent. Just a little. Enough to hurt. Enough to take another slice from the envelope. Then the shoes. His child had outgrown the old pair. Ethan stood in the store holding new shoes and calculating how many dollars would disappear from the envelope if he said yes. He bought them. He smiled. And inside, he felt panic. Each time he reached into that envelope, something changed.
Not the money. Him. The envelope was supposed to make him feel safe. Instead, it made him tense. He checked it constantly, counted it again and again. The number never felt high enough. No matter how much was inside, it never quieted his mind. That is the trap. When you save money out of fear, the fear does not go away. It grows. The money becomes a reminder of everything that could go wrong. You do not feel protected. You feel exposed. Ethan began to realize something painful. He was saving for a future he could not enjoy, while sacrificing the present he was already living in. He was surviving carefully, not living intentionally. And the hardest truth came quietly. Even with all that saving, one bad week could erase everything. That realization did not arrive as a dramatic moment. It arrived late at night, sitting in the dark, listening to the hum of an empty refrigerator, holding an envelope that was thinner than it should have been after so much sacrifice. The problem was not that Ethan saved money. The problem was that saving became his only strategy. He had no system to create value, no way to respond when life pushed back. The money was frozen, silent. It did not help him solve problems. It only reminded him how fragile everything was. This is where many people get stuck. They believe if they just save harder, life will eventually cooperate. But life does not reward fear. It does not wait until you feel ready. It keeps moving. Bills arrive, children grow, emergencies happen. Saving alone does not create control. It creates tension when it is disconnected from action. Ethan did everything society tells a responsible man to do. He worked hard, he avoided debt, he saved, and still, he felt like he was failing. That is not a personal failure. That is a mindset trap. Money that is only stored,
does not protect you from reality. It only delays the moment you must face it. This is where the story begins to turn, not with a big decision, not with a risky gamble,
but with a quiet observation that would change everything. Because across the street, someone else was living through the same power outages, and their house was still bright. Across the street lived Mrs. Carter. Same neighborhood, same power outages, same long nights in the dark. Yet when Ethan looked out his window during the next blackout, her house was glowing. Not bright in a flashy way, just steady, calm, alive. That image stayed with him. It bothered him. Not because she had more money. She did not. Everyone knew that. What she had was something different. She had light when others did not. One evening, Ethan finally asked her how. She did not give a speech. She did not talk about mindset or motivation. She simply showed him a small setup, rechargeable lights, battery packs, a simple routine. She charged them whenever power was available, and when it was not, she used them. Sometimes she even let neighbors charge phones for a few dollars. That was the moment Ethan understood what his envelope never taught him. Money that sits still does nothing. Money that moves with intention solves problems. He went home that night and opened the envelope again. But this time, he did not feel panic. He felt hesitation mixed with curiosity. He took out a small amount, not everything, just enough to try. The next day, he bought one rechargeable light, one battery pack, nothing dramatic. His hands shook at the register. Fear does not disappear just because you decide to change, but he paid anyway. That first night, when the power went out, his kitchen stayed lit. His child smiled. That smile was worth more than the number written on the envelope. Soon, neighbors noticed. Someone asked to charge a phone. Ethan hesitated, then said yes. A few dollars exchanged hands. It was not much, but something important happened. The money went out and then came back. For the first time, money did not feel like it was leaking away. It felt like it was circulating. Ethan did not quit his job. He did not gamble. He did not chase quick wins. He simply repeated what worked. He added one more light, one more battery. He talked to a local barber about charging equipment during business hours. He knocked on doors politely, no pressure, just help when people needed it. The income was small, almost laughably small, but it was real. And more importantly, it was earned by solving a real problem. The envelope was no longer shrinking. It was changing purpose. Instead of guarding it in silence, Ethan started tracking what came in and what went out. He showed his wife, not to impress her, to include her. The fear in the house softened. Conversations became calmer. Decisions became shared. Weeks passed, then months. Eventually, Ethan saved again, but this time with clarity. Not for an imaginary future, for a specific upgrade, a small solar panel. When he installed it, the house did not just get brighter, Ethan did. He realized the lesson was never about electricity, or generators, or solar panels. It was about the relationship with money. Saving money out of fear shrinks your world. You stop moving. You stop breathing freely. You wait for safety that never arrives. Using money with purpose expands your options. It does not remove risk, but it gives you leverage. The message is not, never save money. The message is, never let money become a cage. Save, yes, but save with direction. Spend with intention. Invest in solutions that reduce stress instead of increasing it. If you are skipping meals just to protect a number, if you are avoiding small joys because you are afraid to touch your savings, if your money makes you anxious instead of confident, then something is wrong. Money is not meant to be worshipped or feared. It is a tool. A hammer is useless if you never swing it. A light does nothing if you never turn it on. Ethan kept the envelope, but he no longer stared at it every night. It sat inside a drawer with notes and plans, a reminder of who he used to be and why he chose differently. His house still lost power sometimes. Life did not become perfect, but when darkness came, it no longer felt helpless. That is the real goal. Not wealth, not luxury, control, dignity, peace. If you take anything from this story, let it be this. Do not ask how much money you can save. Ask what problem your money can solve. Because money that helps you live is never wasted. And money that keeps you afraid is always too expensive.